Hello, guys. Welcome to today's episode of Sporting and Out, and we'll be focusing on the Premier League today. But today we'll be focusing on the female Premier League and also the male Premier League as well. So, um, I would like to ask you first how we do it every week. What do you think about the Premier League so far this week, both in the female and in the male? What do you think about
Yes,
the women's? Yeah.
for the EPL this season, um, I don't know. It didn't go as how I expected it to go. It should go, but it has been a season to forget for Manchester United, as we always say.
Yeah.
And the EPL, it has always been. It's a competition that is losing its former glory, like how the EPL was, how the Premier League was some years back, where we can't even know who is going to win the title next season.
Yeah.
And now it was even decided with games to spare. So I feel like it's losing its my Arsenal is already sounding like a broken record. That almost card that they've been playing, they should just, I don't know, if they will not get the league, they should just try to just forget about it and let some other person try to get to chase for the records and all that. So, but for the women, it's also something that Manchester United, congratulations to them for getting to Champions League,
Yes.
for clinching the third position and for clinching the Champions League slot next season for the female. And for Chelsea were crowned champions
Yes.
of the WSL. So
After a game against Manchester
Manchester
United.
United, yes. So what do you think as well?
Yeah, for me, the English Premier League, I'll just say this was just a very poor season for Manchester United, but it was actually a spectacular season. It was a season where we saw young players come into the Premier League and also thrive. But the older players actually, I would say, actually thrived better because we're seeing Mo Salah getting the player of the Golden Boots and also
The playmaker.
the Playmaker Award, probably with games to spare. And also, I've seen the likes of Manchester City actually have a poor season in the beginning of the season and actually picking up points this season. I think if they win their next game or so,
They'll secure
secure a
Champions League.
Champions League spot. So that isn't a very bad season for Pep Guardiola because he's still contesting for that Champions League pedigree. He's still that Champions League coach,
Yes.
and is moving his club to actually the Champions League positions. Even if you say he had a bad season, he actually qualified. It's not like Manchester United
Yes.
that we're currently on 15th position on the table. But for the women, yes, congratulations to our women, Manchester United and Chelsea. Also, congratulations to Chelsea women actually winning the league for the fourth time in a row, for the
Time.
sixth time in a row. So it was just a pity the week they fell out from the Champions League. Okay, it's not the week, but they actually fell out from the Champions League and also now took the WSL the championship.
Yes, we'll be moving on to the last week's fixtures. I'll be
Yes.
telling you the results and
Sure.
all the games that were played. So Manchester City defeated Wolves. That game ended 1-0. It was on Friday, the 2nd of May. Then on Saturday there were some game. There were 4 games on Saturday. Aston Villa defeated Fulham. That game also ended 1-0. Leicester City defeated Southampton. That game ended 2-0. Everton held Ipswich on a 2-2 draw. Bournemouth surprisingly defeated Arsenal. That game ended 2-1. And on Sunday, there were 4 games as well. Brighton held Newcastle on a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
That game changed the way the top four was meant to
Meant to
look.
be, yes.
Brentford defeated Manchester United. That game ended 4 goals to 3 in favor of Brentford. West Ham held Tottenham on a 1-1 draw, and Chelsea defeated Liverpool 3 goals to 1. And we have a game today, that game between Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. But we will not be discussing any of the games for now. We will be discussing, you'll be giving us the next match features.
Yeah, so I'll be giving the next match fixtures, which will be held on Saturday, from Saturday, 10th of May, 2025. And it's going to start with Southampton taking on Manchester City. Fulham will be taking on Everton. Wolves will be taking on Brighton. Ipswich versus Brentford. Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Then on Sunday, Newcastle will be taking on Chelsea. Manchester United will take on West Ham. Nottingham Forest will be taking on Leicester City. They just relegated Leicester City. Tottenham will be taking on Crystal Palace, while Liverpool will be taking on Arsenal. So first of all, I just wanted to just discuss something about the post game of the Arsenal versus Bournemouth game. Arsenal were actually leading in that game, 1-0, and the next minute, Bournemouth took their chances, scored a goal, then fired back, scoring 2-1. I just want to ask you the question: do you think Arsenal's season is poor, or will you say the way the league went, or let's just say the fact that they know that Liverpool has actually won the league, and they just have the chance of winning, of getting the second position, and also probably maybe secured the Champions League spots. What do you think about that,
Yeah,
about Arsenal this season?
Yeah, for Arsenal, I don't think it's a bad season. They didn't use we call them senior men.
Yeah,
They didn't use their senior players to play the game. I think they were resting a lot of players for Champions League.
yeah.
They know that they need to play all their cards on Wednesday against PSG. So you can't blame them for not using their star players, just like Manchester United as well.
Yeah.
Manchester United, although we don't have a team B, we just have one team, but we were able to rotate and play all those academy players on Sunday to at least rest some players that will be playing
and
on Thursday.
and to actually know that our team B players can't really win us
Games.
games like that, because it was when the senior men actually came
That
onto
they
the pitch
started
that,
scoring
yeah,
goals.
we saw Ahmad getting a goal, we saw Garnacho getting a goal, and
Mason Mount also
Messi
scored
Mount also
scored the
uh,
first goal before they started turning us 4-1.
yes. So
For me, I think that's the reason why we can't really blame Arsenal for doing that. It's not a bad season for them.
yes,
They need to play all their cards. They need to get into the
the
Champions
Champions
League
League.
finals and probably see if they can defeat either Barcelona or Inter Milan to get their first ever Champions League
But
trophy.
but do you know they have to actually defeat PSG first. PSG are leading them on goals.
Yes,
For the first leg.
that's why they rested players just 1-0 on the aggregate. So if Arsenal comes back with like 2-1, or if they come back with 2-1, they go into extra time.
Yes.
Um if they defeat this PSG 2-0 and they defend, they take the win. So
Yeah.
that's it. They just have to look for
Those
that
early
kind of
goals.
magic that
Yeah.
they did against Real
Against
Madrid,
Madrid, yes.
and let's see how everything pans out. But let's speak on another topic of that particular game. That is the game between Brentford versus Manchester United. I've already mentioned that Manchester United rested a lot of players in the first half.
Yeah, so for me, that game, Brentford versus Manchester United, I wasn't expecting a win for Manchester United, because I knew we have the Europa, and our coach Ruben Amorim won't play all the important players in that game because he doesn't want any player to get injured. Same thing happened in Athletic Club as well. Athletic Club didn't play their important players, and they were trying to rotate that team. We saw them having a goalless draw in their game as
Yeah,
well. So it has to show you that it shows you that that team is trying to tell Manchester United that we're a defensive team, and when we come to your stadium, we're
we're
going
going to
to give
defend.
you all out. But I just want Manchester United to take that momentum of that three goals to actually defeat them. But we're going back to the game that was played. I think towards the end of the game, I think Manchester United, when once Manchester United gets a goal, we actually relax and we don't take the match for like we don't take it easy. And we saw towards the end of the game, Manchester United almost equalized that 4 goals. But my question to the players: did you wait till you got four goals in the net before you wake up, or before you woke up to actually realize that those goals were there, and it was actually late. We before you knew it, they were leading us 4-1. Then it was 4-2, 4-3. Before we could get a final goal, it was already too late.
Yeah, I think for Manchester United, I think the season is over. If you are a Manchester United supporter and you are living in England, please don't go and watch any of Manchester United games, because let me give you the next fixtures for Manchester United.
Yes,
We have Manchester United has West Ham, we have Chelsea,
yes.
then we have Aston Villa. So which of the games can you boldly beat your chest to say that Manchester United is going to win this particular game? There's none.
We can
Um,
actually win the game against West Ham,
just West Ham.
hopefully.
What about Aston Villa that are looking for a Champions League spot? What
But
about Chelsea that are looking for a Champions League
if
spot?
I'm to say that we're not playing for anything, we're just playing. Basically, Manchester United is playing for the Europa League, and if Ruben Amorim doesn't get that Europa League this season,
To
I would.
win the
So we,
Europa
if, we
League.
didn't, if he doesn't win that, I would just say this is a very terrible and poor season for Manchester United, and I'll just leave my comment that way, because Manchester United, it's getting to become a glory days Manchester United, where the players don't play for the badge anymore. They play, and also Manchester United has a problem with the back and the keeper. We don't have a substitute keeper. Benyada conceding 4 goals. Onana also conceding clumsy goals when is at the
Being called up,
goalpost.
yes.
So I can't really say that for now.
Yes.
So what also I am seeing a game um that everybody want, that was our game of the week. That is Arsenal, Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Yeah, there
What
are
do you think
many.
about that game?
Yeah, there are many games that we can look out for. Not
But
just that game.
first of all, what do you think about the game between Liverpool and Arsenal?
Yes, for that game in particular, Liverpool versus Arsenal is not a game that people are looking. That is not a game that people are that I am looking forward to
Yeah,
per se. It's a game that
but
first have been decided and second has also been decided.
but
But
it's a game that Arsenal really needs to take serious, because there's a start. Arsenal lost their last game. If other teams keep winning, Arsenal can actually um drop positions, and if they drop from second, it actually makes their season look very terrible. So Arsenal wants to get that momentum, and actually even just stay on that second position. So I feel that game is very, very important for Arsenal, since being that they might actually lose out from the Champions League coming up this week. So
yes,
okay,
for me, Liverpool lost to Chelsea.
yeah,
They won't want to lose to us now
yes,
unless to look like they are just giving out points.
points, yes,
And for me, that game will be keenly contested. Arsenal has a lot to play for. Liverpool has nothing to play for. So I believe that if it's still in the version of how Liverpool gave, I would say Liverpool gave Chelsea the win in the
yes.
last game. maybe probably we can say that they can also give us now the win just for them to just stay on top.
You actually say you're actually talking about games of the week. What game do you think is
Yes,
your game of the week?
I was saying that there are so many games that stand out this week.
Yes.
There's the game between Chelsea versus Newcastle. Newcastle being a team that are already looking towards getting the top five slots. Chelsea are also on the verge of getting the top
Top
five.
five
So
slots, yes.
if they get 6 points, if they get their next 6 points, they just need 6 points to get a Champions League slot
Slots, yeah.
in 3 games. 6 points in 3 games. So if they lose this game, it will be very difficult because if they lose one more game, they are going to be fighting for
The
the
Europa
Europa
slots.
League slots. So Europe is already confirmed anyways for them. So, but for me, I would actually say um, Newcastle versus Chelsea is a big game. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace, because Tottenham does not want to lose games again. Manchester United versus West Ham is not a
Yes.
game I'm looking forward to, but as a Manchester United fan and with someone that follows Manchester United games, I know that game is going to be difficult for Manchester United, but it's still a game. And the last game that I was going to mention is the game that we've already talked about is the Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Also, so first, I would love to just give us a rundown on the WSL standing. That's the Women's Super League standing. First was Chelsea with 57 points. Then next, second was Arsenal with 45 points. Then Manchester United came third with 44 points. All three teams securing
Champions
Champions
League
League
slot.
positions. Then fourth um, is Manchester City with 40 points, and then Brighton with 25 points, Liverpool with 25 points.
Yes, one more game to be played though.
One more game to be played. So the positions of the Champions League have been sorted out. The winner has also been crowned, and um, also I'll just like to appreciate the coach of Chelsea changing it's not even only the coach, the management in general, changing coaches and actually getting the same
Outcome.
outcome from that. The only thing they didn't get. They reached the semi-finals. They reached the semi-finals of the women's Champions League, but
The
were
quarterfinals.
quarterfinals, but were defeated. So I'll just say that they were defeated by the best team, almost the best team in the women's league. That's Barcelona. And so we're seeing a Barcelona Arsenal finals. I was surprised when I saw the results from the Arsenal. I was like, because I had already said that Arsenal would definitely lose that tie, but Arsenal actually getting what. So we're now seeing the English teams actually fighting for the
Champions League
Champions League
slots.
positions. So I would love to see an English team defeat Barcelona, and probably I would love Arsenal to actually take the women's Champions League this season. So what do you think about that in particular?
Yes, I really love that particular Arsenal, a EPL team, self
Yes.
being in that conversation. It's actually a very good,
Yeah.
but actually a very good thing. But it's a tall ask to
Yeah.
actually say that
Barcelona wins.
Barcelona will lose to them. But let's see, it's football. Anything can happen. We can
Yes.
see a miracle can happen for Arsenal.
Because for Arsenal to actually defeat Lyon, Leon is not Leon is Leon has gotten that women's Champions League several times.
Yes, Arsenal is not also new to the Women's Champions League. They've also, I think, according to stats, Arsenal has also
Or
clinched the Women's Champions League.
Champions
It is the Men's Champions League
League that is further.
that has eluded them for years. And
Yes.
we like to say congratulations to Caicedo. He won Chelsea's Player
Player
of
of
the
this
Season
season, yes.
and also the Players Player of the Season. So two awards yesterday
Yeah,
night.
for me, Moses Caicedo has improved. He's one player that when he's on the pitch, he actually delivers for Chelsea. Although I don't really like Chelsea, but I'll just say kudos to Moses Caicedo doing great things for
Yeah,
Chelsea,
standing out
standing out
among the
among,
rest.
yes. So that's just it. Um, Also, Chelsea's remaining games: Newcastle, Manchester United, and Nottingham Forest. Do you think Chelsea would actually be defeated in all three games?
Um, for defeat, I can't say, but definitely Newcastle are looking for that top four slot, and Isak is a very good finisher. He's not a player that you want to even waste
Yeah.
that always waste chances. Doesn't waste
And
chances, and
also for Manchester United, I'll just be going into the Manchester United tie that'll be done next week. For the Chelsea versus Manchester United, I think Manchester United does not want to lose to Chelsea this season. I don't think we have lost today. I think it was the first round was a draw. I think Manchester United should draw that game. And for Nottingham Forest, we have the likes of Ayola Aina, we have the likes of
yes,
Elanga and all.
for me, everything still boils down to for the first game between
Yes,
Newcastle are playing for Champions League spots. They are not playing to go into Europa. So they will surely want to win that game versus Chelsea. So Chelsea too are also playing for the same goal. But
yes,
I think it's the person that wants it more that will win that particular game.
yeah,
Versus Manchester United. Manchester United are not playing for anything. So you can't say that Manchester United can win or might not win that game. So I can give Chelsea a 3 points versus Manchester United. And for for Nottingham Forest are also playing to get the top five Champions League slots as well because they've also for the last few games they've dropped a
points,
little.
yes,
So you cannot say that versus Chelsea, the last game that can decide their fate. That I think the top five slot is going to be decided on the last
last day,
day.
yes,
So it depends on what you play on the last day that will give you that particular slot.
yes.
So on the last day, we are going to be seeing teams like Manchester, like
Manchester
Newcastle,
United will play
like
Aston Villa,
Nottingham
Nottingham
Forest.
Forest play Chelsea.
We are going to be seeing Nottingham Forest playing one of their best games
Yeah,
ever for versus Chelsea, and
Chelsea,
Chelsea
yes,
is not really a good side. So it's not like maybe just don't for Chelsea don't consider for Nottingham Forest advice to Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea.
yes. Don't
Don't
concede
concede,
goals,
don't concede
early
early
goals.
goals and don't concede penalties because Chelsea are very good at converting those kind of chances.
Also, what do you think about what we say before we wrap up today's show? What we say about Cole Palmer's um performance entirely in this season, being the current winner for England's
England's
best player of the
yeah.
year, and now having a very terrible season in 2025. What do you think about Cole Palmer's
For
season?
Kopama, for me, I don't really talk about Chelsea players because I don't really watch their games. For me, he dropped form a lot
Yes,
in this season compared to what he was performing
last
last
season.
season.
Yeah.
So you can't really say um, he has not been great. Forget that some people have been shouting that Kopama scored, but I now later checked the stat. It was a penalty he scored.
Yeah.
So it's not like maybe they say Cole Palmer is now cold or something like that. It's not like maybe he scored one spectacular goal. He scored a penalty.
Yeah.
So we should not really be rating him for scoring a penalty to cancel what he has done bad in the rest of the season. He was once in contention for highest goal scorers,
Yes.
scorer rather at the beginning
Even
of the
assist.
season,
Last season he was in conversation for
goal and
goal and
assist.
assist.
So this season, at the beginning of the season, he scored like 8 goals, then went off.
Yeah, he
He had
had an
like two
hat-trick.
or three hat
Hat-tricks,
tricks,
yes.
and we didn't see Palmer again. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's because they were not even playing him at all in the Conference League. So probably he was not seeing many matches to engage himself in, and that really maybe affected him. So that should be the end of our
Alright,
conversation.
yeah. So thank you for watching today's episode. Also don't forget to use our promo code Sport
Sport
In
in
and
and
Out,
out.
SPORTINANDOUT,
SPORTINANDOUT.
or
Sport in
Sport In
and
and Out
out.
on one expert. You can get up to 300% bonus when you use our
Our
promo
promo code.
code. Also, please bet responsibly. If you are not 18, please don't bet.
Bet. And please make sure when you register, Make sure you don't forget to
Let's use
use
our
that
promo
promo
code
code
SPORT
sport
in
in
and
and
out.
out. Very important. And
SPORTINANTANTOUT.
OUT.
Thank you guys for watching today's
This is
episode.
an above
Above
18
18
ad.
ads.
If you
Uh,
are not up to 18, please don't bet and bet responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching today's episode. Please like,
Like,
share,
share, and
and subscribe.
subscribe.